Oh, the pitiful, pitiful tears you cry. Anyways, my name is Trey Francis and welcome back to my channel. I am a screenwriter and an actor, and here, this is where we create regardless. I'll explain a little bit more of that in one of my upcoming videos where I talk about why I created this channel. But anyways, let's get into this video. So this is a recap / review of I May Destroy You, Season 1, Episode 6. This is titled The Alliance, and again, because I love to shout out artists, this is written, created, and starring Michaela Cole. So let's get into it. So we open up, the opening image, we see that Terry, Bella, and Kwame, they're all at this art in the park sort of event where you get to spray paint, whatever the case may be, something that comes to you, something that just resonates with you, I'm guessing. And we kind of see Bella over off to the side. She's on her phone. She's sort of distracted. And so Terry is worried about Bella, and Kwame is sort of in his own little world. So Terry's talking to Kwame, trying to get him to notice Bella. However, as we know, Kwame has also been assaulted. He's also been taken advantage of, right? And so he's sort of lost in the sauce, right? He's sort of dealing with his own stuff. And so he's actually taking kind to this art in the park and is actually doing pretty well at it. Whereas Terry's whole attention and focus is on Bella, because as we know, Bella is the one that has come out to her friends about what has happened to her. And Kwame, he's kept it to himself so far because it's a difficult thing to do, and it just hasn't been easy for him to do. So they have no clue about him, so he's sort of reserved and sort of removed from the experience of it all. However, Bella is very much so in it. So then we see Bella has to run off to this event, off to this, it's called a sexual assault support group. So she has to run off. Terry wants to go. She's like, nah, you can't come. Have you been sexually assaulted? No, then you can't come. Yeah. Anyways, she's just like, no, this is for people who have been sexually assaulted. However, again, Terry hasn't really opened up to her sort of experience, and so there is something that I feel like all of these characters have gone through that either they have expressed to the other friends or they haven't expressed to their friends, that sort of kept it inside. And so they kind of don't know. So when they say things can hit like how I was joking about it. However, it's a very serious thing. And Bella's like, no, I got to go to this by myself because I'm the one who's been sexually assaulted. So when she goes there, we find out that the person who is hosting this is a girl named Theo. She's actually a girl from Arabella and Terry's past. And so we start there where she's talking about why she's giving her spiel about why she created this group. And then we jump back all the way to 2014 or 2004, where these girls were all in middle school, it appears. So we get to, when we jump back to middle school, we see Theo, who is, you can tell she comes from a broken home. Her biological father is not in the household. Her mother has remarried to this guy named Martin. Her mother is remarried to this guy named Martin. And Martin is sort of trying to show up to be a father figure, because we kind of can tell that something has happened between not only Theo and her mother, or Theo and her father, but also Theo's mother and her father, right? That's the gist of sort of what we get in the beginning of this episode. So we see Theo sneaking back in to her parents' home because she was out all night. However, we also noticed that, she stole a gift for Martin, whose birthday it is today. So before she comes downstairs to present the gift, we see her ripping off the box, how some things come in like one of those glass or plastic, security boxes. She's ripping that off because she has a gift that she needs to give Martin before she goes off to school. So she comes down from downstairs for breakfast. She gives the gift to Martin, and then she's out of the door. So then when she gets to school, we see her skipping class to be with this guy from school. I didn't get his name, so I apologize. But this guy from school whom they sneaked off to go basically do. They're about to have some sex on the school premises, and I'm like, yuck. But anyways, they head off to go do that, and she takes him to this, she's kind of leading this, and this arrangement, and she takes him to this place where it looks like she's kind of figured out, hey, we can go here and we'll be safe. It's a part of the school that's shut down, maybe for renovations or whatever the case may be. So they go over there, and as they start to the guy pulls out a phone and he's trying to take some photos. It's not of her face, but it is, it's definitely an invasion of privacy. If you're not into something like that, it can feel, just not good. It doesn't feel good to know that someone is trying to do something like that when you're just trying to have sex or whatever the case may be. So Theo is upset about it. At least it appears, right, that she's upset about it, and she tells him, hey, if you're gonna do this, you need to give me all of your money, right? So he starts to pull out some money, and she's like, that's not all of it. You got more in your bag. Like, pull out the cash, Nick. Pull out the cash. Like, where's the money? So he starts getting out all his money. She goes, hold on, wait till after we do it, and then you can give it to me. So he's like, okay, bet. So apparently, it looks like she's agreed to, hey, let's you can take the photos, just don't put my face in it, right? However, you're gonna have to pay me once this is all said and done. So they do. He takes some photos. He sits his phone down. He goes to get the cash that she said that he needed to give her. She steals an opportunity to take his phone and chuck it out the window because I got the hint that she didn't want him to have these photos, which I was like, okay, makes sense. If you don't want someone to have the photos, you don't want someone to have the photos. So here, you can't have your phone. I'm gonna throw it out the window. So that's what she does, right? She throws it out the window. He gives her the cash. She leaves. She runs off. He goes looking for his phone, and he realizes that his phone isn't there. He doesn't know what happened to it. However, it's not there. So she goes. They're sitting in class. Excuse me. They're sitting in class, and Terry notices that, Theo has her head down on the table, but then there's blood spilling from her. And before she came to class, she went into the restroom, actually, and she cut herself. She cut her leg, and so you see blood spilling down her leg because she cut her upper thigh. You see blood spilling down her leg, and so it looks like she's been assaulted, and that's exactly what she tells the class and the teacher. And so she says who it is, which, like I said, I forget the guy's name, but she says it's the young guy that she went and had sex with, consensual sex. So now she's in the principal's office, and the principal's like, hey, we got to get this guy. So they get this guy. This guy is waiting in there, and essentially she's told them that he's raped her. He took advantage of her. It was forceful. That's where the blood came from, and he needs to be arrested. He needs to go to prison. So the boy is sitting in there, and he's like, no, that's not what happened. I promise. The principal's not trying to hear any of it, and so he's like, well, you're going to have to sit in here until the cops come, and the cops will be arresting you, and you're going to prison. That's it. So as Kwame, not even Kwame, as Terry and Bella are outside, initially they're just like completely against it, as anyone should be. They're upset. These are them as teenagers, right? They're upset. Like, how could he take advantage of her? Yada, yada, yada. So they're on the playground, or they're in recess. It looks like lunchtime. It's funny because in the background, there's some girls that are back there fighting, just like punching each other out, as Terry and Bella and this other kid, right? He's a friend of the guy who had sex with Theo. They're talking. So they're talking about it, and Theo's like, well, that's not what it looked like to me. Like, hey, he took these pictures. She's in the pictures. And one of the pictures, she's actually looking back, because he did say, look back over your shoulders if you're enjoying it. She did do that. So it looks like she was happy with what was going on. And so how can you say she was raped when it seems very consensual, right? So so now the girls are upset, the teenage girls, Terry and Bella, they're upset, and they're like, give me these photos. Like, we're going to take them to there, because the guy's like, hey, I can't do it because I have way too many photos on my phone, and what if I get in trouble? So he sends the photo over to Bella, and hand in hand, Terry and Bella, they're here to save the day. So they go up to the principal's office, they take him the photos, and then later on in the day, as they're all outside, this appears to be after school, The principal releases the guy who was with Theo, who had sex with Theo. He's off the hook. And this is where the alliance come in, where they're saying, hey, we're here to support you. He's going to support us. We got this. Oh, and also, before they went and did this, they also brought up an important point about white girl tears, which is very much so a thing. And I have to be honest. I have to, because white women tears, as it is coined, so this is a coined term, white woman tears has been a thing that has been used to weaponize black men and black women for like millennia. Like, this is a thing that is popular, it's common, it still happens very much so to this day, where if someone cries of a white persuasion, somebody about to get in trouble. And people know it. That's what the lady did out there in the park in New York, whatever it case to be. She did that in Central Park, but we saw the video. It was like, how dare you? So it happens. That what happened is what happened in these series. And so they brought up an important issue because it is something that we have to talk about. And like I didn't post that video, but I said it in the video before. Didn't end up posting it because it wasn't how I wanted it to be. However, when certain people cry, it makes me very, very, very much so uncomfortable. Don't cry around me. Like, it makes me very uncomfortable because I don't know what's coming next. And oftentimes, right, when as we've seen in history, white women cry, something's about to happen. You just never know what happens. And usually it's something that happens negatively towards black people, especially if we are in that same space. You know, we can call the cops, right, on them for bothering us, attacking us, whatever it case may be. If the cops show up, they crying, the cops about to knock us upside our head, we about to be arrested. We might not even be arrested properly. You might be killed on the ground because someone decides to put their knee in our neck. That's how serious white people tears are. So they're talking about that in this episode, and they understand this. Get this, they understand this as teenagers, as little kids in middle school, right? Preteens, teenagers. They understand the concept of a white woman tears and how when they cry, the teacher sees weapons of mass destruction. The teacher, oftentimes we are identified as people who are indestructible. Like, we can just go through anything, and like, we shouldn't be cared for and shown compassion, right? That's sort of the dialogue that they're having as young as that age, and we get that even to this day. We understand that this is a thing that can be used against us at a very young age as well. We see it in the workplace, we see it in schools, we see it just out on the street every day, we see it just trying to bird watch in a park. Fuck off. So we see it. This is a very, very much so real ass thing. So anyways, they save the day. The teacher releases the guy. However, now Theo's in trouble. So at the end of the day, we see Theo walking out with what looks like a social worker, and Bella goes to make a comment. She makes a joke. She throws a joke her way or whatever it case to be. None of the girls, bro, she's talking about some monkeys or whatever. I was like, oh, so you racist too? Okay, bet. But anyways, here we are. We jump back to present day, and you kind of hear the girl going over her spiel again, right? About how, essentially how, hurt people, right? She confesses to, so she goes home. Martin, her mother's new husband, not her father, is, getting on her about, how could you lie? How could you do this, young girl? She tries to, fuck you, fuck off. He's like, nah, I'm here. I'm taking care of things. You're going to listen to me. And sometimes I have something to say, and you're going to hear me out. So as he's scolding her, she goes, hey, well, what you might want to know is that my mom isn't the person that you think she is. She actually told me to lie on my father, saying that he touched me or he raped me or did whatever to me when I was a little girl. I was only 7. I was impressionable. I didn't know what I was saying, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know the impact that it would have, because she wanted to have full custody of us. She said that he was hitting her or whatever. She said, I never seen it though. I didn't see the shit. Or I didn't see any bruises or anything, which, necessarily doesn't mean anything. People do things behind closed doors or whatever the case may be. However, she said, he definitely didn't touch me. He definitely didn't rape me. This woman, she's vicious. She had me say it. So now Martin's looking at the mother like, how could you do this? And then that's when we start to hear the Theo going over her spiel again, when she's just talking about this is a support group not only of assault victims, people who've been raped and molested and things like this. This is also a support group of people who've been used, who've been violated, who've had someone come in and manipulate something and cause confusion and disruption and destruction. Like, this is about all of this. So then we get a sense about who this person is and why she was the person that she was and why she became the person that she is today. So I loved it. I thought it wrapped up very well, because at first I was like, oh, Theo, we got issues. However, we understand, we give people second chances, we understand that people can be better, can do better, and that is what Theo decided to do later on in her life. And so there's this common, before the episode ends, the closing image is of Theo looking at Bella. Bella smiles, Theo smiles, and like all is all right in their world. And I loved it. So that was basically this episode. Hey, this is late, so I'm in this video right here because I need to get this up. I told myself, remember I said the theme of this whole channel is create regardless. I had gotten sidetracked earlier today because I was supposed to record this earlier. However, we are going to still put this up tonight because I said Tuesday, so Tuesday it shall be. So thank you guys, love you guys for watching my channel. Thank everyone who is subscribed. Thank everyone who leaves a like. Thank everyone who leaves a comment. I really appreciate it because it helps out with the algorithm to get my videos out there and to get me more viewers and to get me more subscribers. So thank you all. I am going to go, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.